has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
All right, Carver High, baseball tonight. Big games. Let's dive in.
Yep, we've got a lot of big games with a lot of significance to do here. Let's start. It's got a couple that don't have maybe as much. The Guardians are still hanging on to hope, Scotty, that they can get the number 1 seed in the American League. They can still catch the Yankees since the Yankees lost last night. They are only a game and a half back of them for that. It'll be Joey Cantillo tonight against Jacob Junis, minus 150 for the Guardians, plus $1.25 for Cincinnati, a 7.5 total.
And didn't they win last night, Cleveland? Did they?
They did.
Yeah.
Yes.
They'll beat them again.
I think they're going to beat them again, too. The Reds playing out the string, of course, with the manager getting chopped. Tampa is in Detroit. Of course, the Tigers won yesterday afternoon with Skubal on the mound. Tonight they'll have Keider Montero going. Zach Littell for the Rays. This is minus 130 for the Tigers, plus $1.10 for Tampa, and an 8.5.
I got to go with the Tigers. Obviously, there's pressure, and Skubal got it done. And now you're going to go with Montero tonight at Comerica. You got to win the game.
Got to win the game. That's really what it comes down to. The Tigers are, of course, in a deadlock with the Royals right now for those last 2 spots. The Royals are in D.C. again against the Nats. Michael Lorenzen tonight against DJ Hers. Minus 135 for the Royals, plus $1.15 for the Nats, and a 7.5.
I guess I'll go with Kansas City. I went for it last night with a big payout with the Nats, and they lost 1-0. I can always live with a result like that when the vaunted team doesn't get it done, but they win by a 1-0 count. No fault of the Nats. I'll go back to Kansas City because it's important to them. And the Nats, there's nothing left to be said about their season.
Tell you, some of those big bats on Kansas City got to wake up here. The Witt, Salvi Perez, somebody's got to step up and get them going here tonight. The Yankees will try again to win the AL East with the Orioles in town. Marcus Stroman tonight. Zach Eflin goes for Baltimore. Minus 130 for the Yankees, plus $1.10 for the O's, and an 8.5.
Yeah, I'll go back to the Yankees again. I mean, I lost last night, but I still believe they're going to finish him off. Stroman the showman. I'll take him at that price. It's not juicy at all. Minus $1.25. Let's go.
Amazingly, this game has not been postponed yet, but since it's still on the board, we will see what we can do with it. The Mets are in Atlanta against the Braves. Chris Sale tonight against David Peterson. Right now, the Braves minus $1.80, plus 150 for the Mets, and a 7.5.
Yeah, I don't particularly think that they're going to get it in either, but I'll go with Sale here. He's been so dominant, and I'm going to run line it. Braves again by 2 or more runs with Sale on the bump, and you can get it at plus $1.22 on the run line.
The Twins are hanging by a thread now, 2 back of both the Royals and the Tigers. They are on a miserable losing streak. They have the Fish in their building again tonight. Simeon Woods Richardson against Edward Cabrera. How about this, Scotty? This team they've lost 23 of their last 34 games, and they are minus 200 tonight against Miami. The Fish are plus 165 and an 8.5 total.
Give me the Fish. Let's go. They upset them last night.
I think I'm with you. They look so finished. I can't believe that that's the price tonight. I know the Marlins stink, but man, that's tough to swallow.
They
beat them last night. You talk about needing a bounce back. Arizona needs it badly tonight. They've been smashed by the Giants the last couple nights at home. They do have their ace going tonight, Zach Gallen of Milk. Mason Black goes for San Francisco, minus 225 for the Snakes, plus $1.85 for the Giants, and an 8.5.
Well, I already tried to go with the Snakes last night, so I'm going to go back to Black and the Giants to beat them again. I mean, they're just kicking their ass 11-0. I mean, you talk about not going to work.
Not going to work. I mean, and like homer after homer. Like I'm watching the ticker last night. Like Ramos, Fitzgerald. I mean, they're just hitting bombs all over the place. Patrick Bailey. Like Gallen's got to hold the fort a little bit here for them. All right, the Padres are in, but can they cut it to 1 for the NL West Division crown? Dylan Cease tonight in Los Angeles against Jack Flaherty. Minus 135 for the Dodgers, plus $1.15 for the Friars, and a 7.5.
Yeah, I mean, I know they partied last night, but honestly, Dylan Cease is tough as hell. Flaherty's been good for the Dodgers. I mean, the indicators say the Dodgers will win this game and keep it. They'd go to 3 games instead of a 1 game. It'll be a 1 game if they lose. I think the buy is actually Flaherty and the Dodgers tonight, Chavez Ravine, to keep their bearings about them and to win this game and hold off the Padres by 3 games instead of 1.
Yep, and if they do that, I believe they would still be a game. There's 4 games left after tonight, so they wouldn't officially clinch it, but it would be very close. That's for sure. Okay, so we got the official word with the Mets and the Braves, Scotty. They are not going to play tonight. They are not going to play tomorrow either. They will play a doubleheader on Monday, the Mets and the Braves. So back to Atlanta. Hey, that gives us, I'm sure they'll be obviously in the afternoon. They're going to want to get them out there as fast as possible.
Right.
We'll have potentially some very juicy baseball Monday afternoon on C2C.
I'm all for it. Let's go. And we get to watch it even no matter what. In New York, We'll see it.
No doubt we will see it. That's for sure. Here's the rest of the MLB for tonight. Of course, we did all the games that matter. The Cubs are in Philadelphia again. Milwaukee's in Pittsburgh against the Pirates. Nice effort by the Pirates last night. I guess everybody's mad about the Rowdy Tellez thing. And Boston is in Toronto again against the Jays.
Well, throwing fits against Gosman. I mean, Gosman's their best pitcher at some level, right?
Yeah.
So I'll take the Jays again. They lost to him last night. I think they can get it tonight. And then the other games, the Pirate game, I told you, they were going to lose last night for the money games they played with Rowdy. So they got their ass beat 7-2. And then the Phillies are going to beat the Cubs because that's what they do. They beat the Cubs, and they're at the bank, and the bank is open 24 hours a day. The fourth game was there. The Angels and White Sox.
No, I've got the other 3 here for you. Angels, White Sox, Cardinals, Rockies, and Texas and Oakland. Walk off for the A's last night at home, Scotty. When they were ripping the seats out of the dump in the last home series there in Oakland.
Yeah, and we picked the A's yesterday to do well in this series. So have at it, boys. I'll take the A's again. I'll take St. Louis. In Colorado. I thought they'd lose the first game. They won it. And then, what is it? Oh, the Angels. Like I said, that game should be canceled. I will say that they did not have the all-time record, the White Sox, for most losses in a season. They will avoid that rap sheet, that horrible record being the worst team in history. They are not going to have that. They are not the Bad News Bears.
They are not the Bad News Bears, that's for sure. But they're pretty close to being the Bad News Bears. There's no doubt about that. There you go. Tonight's Major League Baseball for you. Of course, we'll continue the Golf Wednesdays with Keith Stewart for Read the Line. He's in Montreal. And then after that, Scotty, we got to do some college football. I got to talk about this kid, Sluka from UNLV, who left. And how about this? Another player on the team just announced he's leaving, a running back for the same reasons that they did not fulfill promises to him.
They're liars.
And how much money he was going to get out there. What a story.
Yeah. Corruption in Vegas. Imagine that.
right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I am ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
And we are back for El Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday. That's right, a Golf Wednesday. It's back on C2C as we get ready for the President's Cup this weekend. Royal Montreal, the United States, against the international team. And it would not be a Golf Wednesday, of course, without having Keith Stewart from Read the Line with us as he is there in Montreal getting ready for the event to get going. It's already been some fun today. You had, of course, the teams drawn for tomorrow's first event. So a lot of buzz in the air, Keith, as we get ready. How are you, my man?
Mike Carter, I'm doing fantastic up here north of the border. Let's get into it. I just sat in the press room and the matches came out. They hit the boards, and I cannot believe I have not seen action like this. I have not seen odds move since Scotty Scheffler got arrested at Valhalla. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. That first match alone has dropped almost 20 points on the American side. Somebody's going heavy on Jason Day, and we got to talk about it.
We certainly do. And why don't we, listen, how about we do, we'll go with this first because this is fresh, Keith. And they just announced this an hour ago. They were doing this right when me and Cam were giving our overall picks for the event. So here's what we've got. Jason Day and Ben On against Xander Schauffele and Tony Finau. That is the first match out. Sungjae Im and Tom Kim against Scotty Scheffler and Russell Henley. That is another. Hideki Matsuyama and Corey Connors against Cantley and Burns. That's going. And then Pendrith and Bezuidenhout against Clark and Bradley. Adam Scott and Minwoo Lee against Morikawa and Tagala. I didn't put them in the exact order, Keith, because I know the Matsuyama and Connors one is the last match of the day that's going to go out. But either way, your first thought when you saw the matchups come up on the board about an hour ago?
Well, I tell you what, the pairings are different than what a lot of people would have expected. We've officially split up Xander and Patrick Cantley. Scotty Scheffler with Russell Henley in 4 balls is interesting. I mean, we're playing 4-ball tomorrow, 5 4-ball matches, not foursomes. You would have thought Russell Henley would have been a great pair for Scotty, world number 1. I mean, I don't know where Russell Henley stepped in this week, but he's definitely, he's blessed to get to play with Scotty Scheffler, at least in 4 balls. And you know what? If the practice rounds mean anything, this is what the Americans have done both days, both Tuesday and Wednesday. These are the groups that they played in. These are the matches that they played head-to-head with one another within their groups. These are the pairings that I expect to see back and forth between the alternate shot and the 4-ball tomorrow, and again on Saturday when we have both sets of matches. And that Schauffele-Finau group, right off the bat, a huge favorite to start over Day and On. And, what a statement by Captain Furyk when, what's cool about the President's Cup, Mike, that I love is that the captains go back and forth. it's like a snake draft in fantasy football. Like, I know what you're doing, so I'm going to counter with something else. And that's really, really cool. Weir has to go first. The winning cup captain from the last time around gets the right to either take the pick or defer. Well, of course, they always defer. They want to get the other guy to say something first. Weir does that. He puts out Day and On, which seems like kind of a weak team, and then he goes heavy right off the bat. Give me a point with Xander and Finau, and then he backs it up with the two California boys, Colin and Thigala. They look like they have a really nice bond going right now. And then hammer time, you get Scotty Scheffler in the third one. The anchor match, you got to love Patrick Cantlay. I mean, he is a match play dog. Everyone loves to talk about Max Homa and the grit of this guy and that guy. This guy just gets it done. I mean, it is a great card for the Americans. And on the international side, they got their big guns out there. They got to hope for the best.
They do have to hope for the best. I'm looking at some of the numbers now here, Keith. Now, I'm not going to give you the draws here because it's plus 550 for a draw for every single match tomorrow, at least that I'm seeing. I'm on FD. I know you saw some DK lines before. I've got FD lines for me. Minus 130 for Schauffele and Tony, plus 190 for Day and On. Minus 120 for Scotty and Russell, plus 175 for Kim and Im. Plus 115, Matsuyama and Connor. So slight favorites, Keith, over Cantlay and Burns in that last matchup of the day. Plus 115, Clark and Bradley over Pendrith and Bezuidenhout. And minus 110, Morikawa and Tagawa. So only one match, Keith, on the odds boards that has the international team as a slight favorite.
You know what? I think that last match is definitely a situation where people are underestimating what Patrick Cantlay and Sam Burns can do together. Sam Burns can make 9 or 10 birdies tomorrow with a Patrick that's as steady and as with a partner that's as steady and as well-rounded as Patrick Cantlay. I know Hideki and I know Corey Connors. I've seen Corey Connors. He's been playing great this week. But when there is more pressure on him than there is on Captain Weir. There is more pressure on Corey Connors to play well as the lead Canadian than any other player on the international side. And we know that Corey does not make enough putts, putting him on the ball where he's got to make a ton of birdies, along with Hideki, against two guys that are going to play very, very well, that have a lot of experience and have a lot of success. I mean, I love those last two matches on the American side because the lines are tight. You don't have to lay a lot of money. And Captain Keegan is going to be a dog in this match, in this set of matches. You know it. You know he's coming out strong. And a guy like Wyndham Clark has a lot to make up for Rome. I love those two guys. And, of course, I love Cantlay and Burns on the back end. The other matches, you might just have to lay too much. And, the American side looks good. The weakest side of the five for the internationals is definitely Pendrith and Seabez. And that's why I love Clark and Bradley against them.
I'm with you, Keith. These are the first two that jumped out to me, or the two that you mentioned. Yeah. Getting Cantlay and Burns right now at plus 125, that seems like that's the first check mark for me when it comes to the four balls tomorrow. And Clark and Bradley right after that, because you could tell, like you said, Keegan's got that look in his eye for being at this thing. So that and Pendrith and Bezuidenhout is, how about those? Didn't he leave Siwoo out? Who do you leave out of this in the international? Siwoo's not playing.
I cannot believe Siwoo's not playing. I understand Mac Hughes not playing. I don't understand Mac Hughes not playing in four ball. This means those guys are going to play foursomes tomorrow. You're going to put Mac Hughes out in alternate shot. Good luck finding his tee shots. I'm telling you. I'm a little bit thrown off by this. I'm not thrown off by Homa and Harman sitting because they were paired Rome that played foursomes. They're going to play tomorrow. We will see that. But the sitting for Siwoo, ooh, man, I don't know. Scott and Minwoo, that could be a fun match to watch.
We'll come back with Keith and we'll get some overall full tournament thoughts from him.
Want to know who to draft and who to avoid in fantasy football? Or want to know who to place NFL season future bets on? Get an insider edge from the former NFL team doctors at Sports Injury Central. The 2024 NFL preseason injury guide is the only in-depth injury report analyzing all 32 teams and over 150 players. So go to sixscore.com to get the most accurate NFL preseason injury report. That's sixscore.com.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. Brady, I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
And we are back for El Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday, a golf Wednesday on C2C with the President's Cup this weekend in Montreal. Keith Stewart from Read the Line is there, and we are getting ready for the event. All right, Keith, we broke down tomorrow all the matchups that we're going to have for day number one. Let's look big picture here for the entire event. United States has been dominant. The Internationals have only won this once.
Yep.
They've tied another time. I think that's why maybe this doesn't get the same gas as the Ryder Cup, because there's been so much dominance on one side that everybody doesn't get as fired up for it. But sometimes on international soil, it's a lot closer than when it's in the States.
Well, Carver, you're absolutely right. The last two on international soil, Melbourne, Australia, and South Korea, have been really, really tight. In fact, in Australia, the international side was leading going into singles on Sunday. I mean, that thing was really tight when the captains were Ernie and Tiger. And really what it comes down to, and a lot of people forget this because it was 100 years ago, but the United States won 22 of the first 25 Ryder Cups. So back then, you could have been having the same conversation. It's tough to get this thing started, and it's even tougher for the internationals because, let me ask you a quick question, Carver. Let's say they do win this week. Where would they put the trophy? They're going to put it in South Korea, Australia, Canada, South America? Where are you going to put it, right? What they have done in the last dozen years, starting with Els and through Immelman and now into Captain Weir, bringing the culture together, is working towards a win. And they don't need to win this week. They do need to keep it close, but they don't need to win in order to continue that progress. Hey, the Ryder Cup's not hurting now. Remember where it started. This thing, yeah, it's been one-sided, but you know what? This thing's going to be close, and those Canadian crowds are going to play a huge part in that.
How close are we thinking here? Me and Cam were talking earlier. You know, he liked USA to win between 1 and 3. I stretched it out a little further with some nice plus money for the United States to win between 4 and 6. You think the United States wins, obviously, Keith, and how much do you think they win by?
Well, I definitely think the U.S. wins. I think it's going to be between 2 and 3. I think it's going to be a 16, 14, 17, 13, right in that mix. At the end of the day, what's really going to hurt the international side is Friday. They have 5 foursome matches. And what's unique about the President's Cup is that they put more guys in play. Well, our team is just that much stronger. We've got 10 guys of the 12 in the top 20 in the official world golf ranking. They have 3. So over the course of that many matches and 30 points, it's just going to be very hard for them to keep up. There's only so many putts that you can make. And then they talk about how, when we go away, that they're going to take away the bomb and gouge from the Americans. We hit more greens in regulation, and we hit more fairways. So no matter what you want to do to this golf course, have at it. You know, we just have better players overall. And our big four, if they play all 5 matches, they could get 10 to 12 points alone, and you only need 15 and a half to win. Again, that's Scotty, Xander, Colin, and Patrick. I mean, those guys need to play all 5, and Furyk won't outsmart himself, and that's the path to victory. For Captain Weir, I mean, he has got to get those 3 Canadians to play well and get this crowd behind him and get it close on Sunday. If he does that, then the United States is going to start to feel the pressure from even Bethpage. How could they lose going into a Ryder Cup year where they're going to be at home in New York City? So there could be a little anxiety in the end if they can keep this thing going for as long as possible on the international side.
Give me any kind of point props that you like. Top scorer, either side. What do you got for me?
All right. Most points on the U.S. side, I'm going Patrick Cantlay. I don't care that he's not playing with Xander Schauffele. He has the best record of the guys that are there. And hat or no hat, this guy just wins. He's the most well-rounded player there. He's a great putter, and he's a great match play player. He's shown it time and time again. And when you start to think about Scotty and Xander, and you can make the pairings when the captains can actually match them up and they're not in a closed ballot, right? You're going to start to see that, you know, Colin and Xander and Scotty, they're going to get the top 3 draws all the time. Cantlay's going to start to get the 4th, and when it comes to Sunday singles, that's going to be a big deal. That might be the extra point that puts him over the edge, right? Most captains, or most points by a captain's pick on the U.S. side, Sam Burns. Look, he's already playing with Cantlay. He's out there in 4-ball. You need a captain's pick to play 3 times. Sam Burns is a perfect 4-ball player and a great singles player. And then on the international side, captain's pick with the most points, Siwoo Kim. I don't care that he's not playing tomorrow. He's still the most well-rounded of the captain's picks, and he's one of a couple guys on their side that actually has a winning record in this event. Now, overall, I'm going to lay the money. I got minus 250 for the U.S. side. I'm going to take the U.S. because there's one thing I know. Up here in Canada, they just don't win cups, Carver.
No, they don't. 20 seconds, Keith. Any problems with the weather this week? Are we okay weather-wise up in Montreal?
Yeah, the worst day of the weather is today, and they're not playing today. Tomorrow, there's a chance of some storms, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday look absolutely awesome in the fall here in Montreal.
Keith Stewart, read the line. The President's Cup this weekend. Let's go to the window, baby. We're back after this.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in the set than I do for this year. I'm ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, so back to college football here as we turn the corner in the final hour of a C2C Where Do You Hurt Wednesday. And we're going to start with what is going on at UNLV. They're turning into one of the, top Power 5 schools for a shot at a playoff. When you look at, the way the thing's set up, it's 4 conferences matter and screw everybody else. Well, they're in that heap of teams from screw everybody elseville that could actually do it. But now their quarterback walked off and quit the team. And some other guy you told me quit too, a running back, because they both claim, Mike, what happened?
Well, here's the situation, and obviously there's a lot of back and forth with this story, Scotty. So quarterback Matt Sluka, who transferred to UNLV in the offseason from Holy Cross. He played 4 years at Holy Cross, did great. This is his fifth year senior. Basically, he says that the offensive coordinator, who's the guy who recruited him to UNLV, promised him $100,000 to go and play there. Apparently, he was never given that. They've played a couple weeks into the season. He's played very well. UNLV's 3-0. And apparently he's knocking on the door looking for the money that he has not gotten yet. The family says they're barely paying his expenses. They're not getting anywhere near what they were promised. The school is saying that he came to them in season to renegotiate his deal, which is a no-no. Now, the biggest problem of all, as you know, is, and we've talked about this a lot, this is all a problem because this is what college athletics is now. And there are no rules, which is why it's a problem. The NCAA has no rules. So that's why we're in the situation that we're in. This kid's not going to play for UNLV. The running back's leaving too. His name is Michael Allen. He's their 3rd or 4th running back on the depth chart, but the same thing. He's going to expectations for opportunities, unfortunately, were not met, and he's out there as well. So there's a few guys now saying UNLV did not give them what they promised in terms of NIL and opportunities.
Well, look, I've been on the side of the river that says that NIL is the haves and have-nots, and some kids are getting rich. That Olivia Dunn is one of them. She's making more money than anybody. A gymnast, if you can even fathom that, seriously, because, I know that it matters to them, but and I respect what they do, but nobody else gives a rat's ass about it. And the football and basketball are the ones that make the most money, and it should be that way. But the problem with it is it's turned it into professional sports. It's no longer college anything. The education is meaningless. The free ride scholarship is meaningless. None of these kids, very few of them that I believe go to class at all. Like if someone's paying you $500,000 to be on a football team, can you imagine? All them brothers down at, you heard me, at Miami, how many go to class? Like 5 on the whole team? Like, they don't want to go to class. They want to get paid, which they are at Miami. If you want to win in Miami now, you have to pay them. Just like in the 5 national championships, except everyone paid them under the table then to go to Miami. Now they pay them legit pro contracts. It's ruined college sports. And it's particularly ruined it from the end of the stick of people that don't make any money at all. The student athlete that's there for the right reasons to get an education, he gets nothing and can't afford a pizza.
This, of course, all comes, like I said, with UNLV playing some pretty good ball. The problem is now they're not going to have their quarterback. They were 3.5-point favorites against Fresno State on Saturday afternoon. That has now dropped, Scotty, to 1.5. They are 1.5-point favorites, so a couple points off the line there. They've got another couple. They have a senior quarterback. They've got some other transfer quarterback. They've covered every game. They've been very good, but that kid was playing very well for them. That's going to be a big loss, no doubt about that. I'm sure we'll hear more about this mess with the he said in terms of all of the money. All right, next. I've got Lane Kiffin for you today. Of course, we love Lane on Coast to Coast because he usually says some absolutely crazy things. And again, he did it this week, Scotty. Here he is. Of course, he's got a great team this year. He's got Jackson Dart. He's got a great offensive line. He's got offensive weapons all over the place. Here he is trying to tell you how great it is to have all of these great players all around his football team. Man, did he take a couple left turns here. Here's Lane.
It's like I've said before, like if you go hunting, which I don't do much of, let's go fishing. Keith does hunting. Let's go fishing, man. You go out on like a big, nice fishing yacht, and like you got really nice fishing tackle, and you go out there, and then you got like really live bait, so you feel good about going out. Or you can have like little rods and frozen shrimp. That's how sometimes as a coach you feel like going out there to play. So at least we know we have the right bait and the right rods and the right boat. So let's get them on the right fish and play together, and we could be special.
What just happened to our evening? What just happened there?
He's got the right bait. He's got the right boat. He's got. That's Lane, man. Lane's great.
I'll tell you, I've been fishing a lot in my life with various outlets, and the one that I liked the best was snook fishing in the Gulf of Mexico, down in like Naples and Fort Myers. They have the best snook fishing. It's shallow water fishing in these little troll boats, and these snook they're vicious. Like they fight. They're like, I'm not going anywhere with you today. And it is a war, and they're literally in 3 feet of water, and it's crazy. I don't like, particularly, that's just me, going out deep sea fishing for numerous reasons. One, everyone starts hurling on the boat if you're not used to it. Two, bad things happen on those deep sea fishing trips now. I mean, bad things happen. People sinking, things are happening. I got to be in shallow water. Remember Carver High? Sharks still attack knee-deep water. Everyone's like, I'm just going to stick my toe in. I'm just going to go down to the shoreline, feel if the water's cold. Honey, I'll be right back. Guy comes back with one leg. I am not a fan of any water that I can't see my feet. You got to go Caribbean, and you got to go turquoise, or don't go at all.
That's it. You got to make sure that you're in the right water. Lane Kiffin, what a legend.
I ain't no Andrea Gale.
Weekly look at some futures in college as well. Heisman, since Jackson Dart is his quarterback, Jackson Dart is the second choice on the odds board right now, Scotty. But who's the first? It's all about the U, baby. Cam Ward right at the top at plus 350. Then you get Dart, Jalen Milroe, Nico, Dylan Gabriel, Quinn Ewers, Carson Beck, and Travis Hunter, the updated Heisman Trophy odds.
Well, he's thrown... they're 4-0, and he's thrown for 400 yards and plenty of tutties in every game. So he deserves to be there. I think Jackson Dart, remember, I thought he would win the Heisman at the jump because of that offense. And I did not expect, to be honest, all the hype machine of Miami every year is they're going to be great, and they've sucked for 25 years. So to see him winning with talent, 5-star talent, and high-priced talent that they pay a lot of money to go to Miami. They pay a lot of money even for the Cavender twins to come back to Miami. Miami knows how to spend money. And remember, it costs at a low minimum $75,000 a year to go to Miami. It is no joke. So, and again, the brothers aren't going to class. You're there to win a title, and that is it. And I think Cam and Jackson are right where they need to be. I think Milroe's been great. I hope to God that it continues for Miami. They play Friday night against the Hokies in Hard Rock.
They certainly do. I did have some racks of games for you today, but that's okay. We will go through all the racks of games tomorrow.
I thought we were having 3 racks of ribs today, and then I'm going to just have pasta bolognese because I got that up on the grill right now.
I got a lot of games that we're going to go through tomorrow. So as we get closer, we will do that. And at the end in leftovers, I've got some other things for you as well. So plenty of other college stuff that we're going to do going forward. But I got to finish the golf with Smylie. Got to finish the golf with Smylie first before we get out of here.
Tell your boy Smylie I said hey.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I'm ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long. People,
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take the room.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
And we are back from coast to coast here on a Wednesday, a golf Wednesday on C2C as we get ready for the President's Cup this weekend in Montreal, Royal Montreal for the United States and the international team. The pairings are out for tomorrow's first event. We are all very excited. And of course, we are always excited to have our man Smylie Kaufman with us. You can catch the Smylie Show right here on SportsGrid. Of course, he is with us today, courtesy of Ahead. Great to have you here with us, Smylie. You are up in Montreal, getting ready for it. The pairings are out. You excited, man? I mean, let's go, baby. This is where it's all about.
I think, first off, great to talk to you again, Mike. I'm super excited to be up here in Montreal. Yeah, I mean, hey, when we get Ryder Cups, President's Cups, we see more emotion out of these players that you typically don't see throughout the year unless they're winning a golf tournament. So you'll see fist pumps for pars on the second or third hole of this deal. The juice will be there, these Canadian fans. Hopefully they bring the hockey fan in them and bring the juice.
Yeah, I think they're going to do that, Smylie, because the Canadians usually are. You know, that Canadian Open's fun every year when the guys are up there. So I think you're going to get a lot of it. Let me get your thoughts first on these pairings for tomorrow before you give me an overall thought on who's going to win this thing. And right out of the gate, I like the Presidents, and I think a lot of people do too, Smylie, because you get that kind of schoolyard pick-em feel with the matchups. You know, you got a match. It's not like the Ryder Cup where it's all like almost out of a hat. Here's the 5 groups. This is a lot of fun, so you're kind of matching who the other guy goes with. Jason Day and Ben On against Xander Schauffele and Tony Finau. First match out tomorrow. Who do you think's favored there, Smylie? Who do you think's favored in that matchup?
I would imagine the United States will be favored in that one. I just think that Tony Finau's ball striking, his iron play, his approach to the green statistic, it's second best in the world right now behind Scotty Scheffler. So when you throw in what this golf course presents, which is a lot of par 4s, par 3s, 2 par 5s, so you're going to have plenty of opportunities, I think, between that 140 to 165 yard range in which Tony Finau is just ridiculous at. And then you throw in the second best player in the world in Xander Schauffele. I imagine they're a pretty good favorite here. I'm going to probably go with that they're a minus 160 favorite over the other pairing.
You weren't too far off, Smylie. Minus 145 for Xander and Tony, plus 210 for Day and On. The first group out. Second group out, the California guys, Colin Morikawa and Sahith Theegala. And I'll say this, and I know you've seen it, Smylie. I love that Theegala. He is like ear-to-ear smiles that he's a part of this event. I think it's very cool for Sahith to do this for the first time. Adam Scott and Min Woo Lee on the other side. Group 2.
This is the match I'm most excited about watching, to be honest, and it'll be the match I'm covering tomorrow with NBC on the ground. So I'll get to watch all 18 holes of this, if hopefully it goes that far. I'm just very curious to see how Min-Woo Lee is going to play. He's a potential next superstar in the game of golf. He was the guy that was picked by Mike Weir. I think this golf course suits him. His ball speed is 187 miles an hour, club head speed 124, and he's playing with a guy that he's idolized in Adam Scott. So that team interests me because Adam Scott's played in all of these President's Cups and never really has had ultra success with a partner. So I'm curious to see if Min-Woo Lee is able and Adam Scott are able to win this match, to see if that pairing continues to play the rest of the week. But still, that side of Colin Morikawa and what he's able to bring, how great of a year he's had, and to hit the galas, it's been slept on. I'm going to say they're slight favorites at, I would say, minus 120.
Minus 110 for Morikawa and Tagala, plus 155 for Scott and Lee. What do you think the third pairing, Im and Tom Kim against Scotty and Russell Henley is? This is, you would think this is the biggest, but it's not. It's not the biggest out of all the matchups.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how this match is going to play out, because I think it's going the distance, because I really feel like the pairing of Scotty Scheffler, we know so much about him, but Russell Henley, he's a very competitive golfer. It's a golf course I think suits his game, puts the ball in play, very good iron player. But he comes from a basketball background, a guy that's not scared of anything. It's his first time playing in one of these team events. So he's going to have some nerves, but he's got Scotty Scheffler there who's going to be putting for birdie inside of 20 feet just about every hole. But Tom Kim and Sung J M, I really like these two this week. So this is going to be a powerhouse match. I'm probably going to give Scotty Scheffler and Russell Henley just an edge by minus 120. I'll go with that again.
Bang, you hit that one on the head. Minus 120, plus 175 for Im and Kim. Cantlay and Burns against, actually, that's the last one. Clark and Bradley against Pendrith and Bezaiden out is the fourth match out of the five.
Okay, so Clark and Bradley and Bezaiden out, and who was the other one you said?
Taylor Pendrith. Pendrith and Bezaiden out is in that fourth.
Okay, so the Americans are going to be a big favorite in this one, but I really think that it'll be interesting to see, because I think Taylor Pendrith is going to have a very nice President's Cup. I actually think there's some value on the international side in this one, because we're not really sure what we're going to be able to see out of Wyndham and Keegan. I think two guys that I think it'll be hot or cold with them. I think they'll either win 5 and 4 or they'll lose 3 and 2. And I don't think it's a match I see going to 18 holes.
Pendrith and Bezaiden out now favored, plus 110. Clark and Bradley, plus 125. So that's changed in the last 20 minutes. We looked at it before, and they were not. And the last group is where the internationals also were the only favorite. Now they have two. Matsuyama and Connors against Cantlay and Burns.
Yep. I really like to see how Hideki, potentially is the guy that they just ride in this. He's going to play all 5 matches. He's been incredible this year, his golf. But Sam Burns has played as good as anyone in the playoff runs. He's coming in with the best form from the American side. That match is going to be epic. I think out of seeing how these pairings have come out, I think it's going to be very close. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a 2.5, and they're tied going into Friday.
20 seconds, Smylie. Overall, United States wins. Can the internationals take this thing? Do they have a shot?
I got the United States winning, but I got them winning by 0.5 point. I think it's going to be a very, very close President's Cup.
Wow, that would be fun. Smylie, enjoy it. We'll be watching you on the call on NBC, of course, this whole entire weekend for the President's Cup. Thank you to Ahead for the support, for having Smylie Kaufman with us. Catch the Smylie Show right here on SportsGrid. We're back coast to coast right after this.
right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I'm ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than game time decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
You know Carver High loves the leftovers like we all do.
We certainly do. Before we get out of here on a Wednesday, let's get into these WNBA playoffs for a moment, Scotty. Of course, last night, Sabrina Ionescu drops 36 for the Liberty as they move on to the semifinals. The Aces, with another big night from Asia Wilson, they beat Seattle 83-76. They advance to the semis. So you get a rematch, Scotty, of last year's championship. Aces and the Liberty in the semis, you are going to get that. So that is a heavy hitter series that you will have coming up. Of course, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever will try to keep their season alive tonight. They are, of course, taking on the Connecticut Sun to try to extend their season to a Game 3, which would be back in Indiana. Do you like the Fever tonight, Scotty?
So let me get this straight. They played the first two games, right, in Connecticut. The best
Correct.
Indy gets is one game at home if they win tonight. This girl,
They have to win tonight.
She is so clutch that I think she actually gets it done and forces a Game 3 in Indy, which will make the WNBA certainly better than it's been. Let's face facts. If every series is a sweep and all the series suck, what good is that doing the WNBA? Seriously, Clark needs to win this game tonight so that people are interested in this. I'm not interested in sweeps and everybody. There's only a few dominant teams, and that's exactly what they've got. If Clark and all of her friends, Seattle, all these teams, you see, they did nothing. The Liberty made easy work of the dream. So tonight they better win, or it's just going to look like the same old story. Only the haves get it done in the W.
That seems to be what it's like. NBA now. Clippers are limiting Kawhi Leonard. How about this? Another reported procedure on his right knee. Remember when they were mad? Weren't they mad that they sent him home from the Olympics? But meanwhile, he ends up getting something done on his knee anyway. Another guy. We did Mitchell Robinson yesterday. We'll do Kawhi today. He never play.
Listen,
never play, Scott.
His shoes. I have his shoes, the New Balance. I loved them. I wore them. In fact, they're not. I can't play in them anymore. I wore them out, but I wore them on the streets to the Steeler game with the black and red Kawhis. His shoes last more than he does.
It's really sick. Bruins goalie Jeremy Swayman wants an 8-year deal from Boston. They can't figure out the money yet. He's still not in camp. That's going to go on for a while. And
honestly, Mike, a goalie 8 years. Goalies don't last 8 years.
I agree. I wouldn't do it. And finally,
running backs
from hockey. Of course, Craig Berube's the new head coach in Toronto. Now, you know Craig Berube, Scotty. He's more of a no-nonsense type that's been hired for this job. Though, let's just say he got his first taste about how crazy they are up in Toronto as they have lost their first 2 preseason games. The reporter actually asked Berube about a losing streak. Here's what Berube said.
A lot of people are always going to look at 2 losses for this team. Is it time to panic? But for you, right, as fans, I think get a little bit up to exactly
preseason. So
this is for you more about
it's preseason. He looks there. It's preseason. Are you kidding me? Asking me about losing streaks. Oh my God.
Can you imagine that they play so many games? Who cares about any individual game? You need to win games from the jump. Teams that ignore October and November are always left worrying at the end. Teams that win put themselves in a great position for the turn of the new year and when it really matters.
That's it. There you go, Scotty. Leftovers for today. We're all set.
Most New York City bathrooms have been deemed dirty, and to top it off, most lack toilet paper, which is a massive problem. If you're yamming up and there is no toilet paper, you have a very big problem. I recommend bidets everywhere in the city. If I were mayor, everyone would have a bidet. A 7-foot gator in Florida takes a chunk out of a woman's leg as she was walking the dog, giving the gator the bone, apparently, as opposed to the dog. An ex-mafia hitman who killed Whitey Bulger is sentenced to 25 years. The stretch, they're calling it. A 19-year-old U.S. Air Force cadet was found dead in his dorm room. The calamity of it all. A female Cal state senator, California, allegedly forced a male staffer to perform sex acts on her, according to a lawsuit that has been filed against this woman state senator who apparently likes to get her freak on. Hey now. GTD is next. Go to FerrallOnTheBench.com for everything else. We'll see you tomorrow at 3. A coast to coast.
Bostonian versus the book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. It's your quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 years, 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Like, Michael Penix is a walking injury. Like, what are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the book.
And now you have to qualify in these majors. You got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness. And I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships.
Mm-hmm.
So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on sports.